I know. I was trying to pull it up. Hey guys, what's happening, y'all? My bad. I'm waiting for Eli to come. Of course, he's running late, just like a female. You know he gonna get me for saying that. But what's happening live? What's going on? We about to get started. Um, Give me 1 second. Hey DK, what's up, Corey? Hey Giselle, what's happening? Shout out to everybody else that's tuning in. We're about to get started on tonight's show. As you can clearly see, my co-host is not with me right now, but we're gonna get started. We're gonna get the producer to go ahead and get started, and we're gonna go ahead and hey Joel, Willie, what's happening? Shout out to y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Skip, we can go ahead and get started, and Eli will just jump in when he gets here. Hey JF. Hey Corey with the eyes. Really, Corey? Hey Marcus. Corey, ain't nobody fooling with you. Yes, y'all. Welcome to Get Moxie, the Lifestyle Talk Show, where we have invigorating, solution-focused conversations that will cause the rest of your life to be your best life. I am your host and your lovely life coach. It's your girl, Nelly V. And running into the studio late today is my co-host, the Moxie Gen himself.
Hey!
Mr. Eli Isabel. Y'all give it up for him.
You'll never introduce me.
Hey,
You might have to switch this around.
listen, that's what happens. Running on up in here.
Sometimes things happen. Duty called tonight.
Right.
So I'm in here, I'm running.
Right. Well, while you get yourself situated, thank you guys for tuning in to all of our Hottest Live Radio listeners. As always, we love you and appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here with us again. To all of our Facebook followers, shout out to Dee Dee Daniels. Thank you for tuning in. Tony Turner, Buff Tower, Aunt Lisa Dixon, Virginia's in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Marcus Dean Mullen, thank you for tuning in.
My man, 50 grand.
We appreciate y'all as always for tuning in to Get Moxie, the Lifestyle Talk Show. And tonight we have a very, very, very exciting show for you. But before we get into tonight's topic, I do want you guys to remember about our upcoming pole dancing class. So
Yes.
if you have not purchased your ticket, or you haven't purchased a ticket for your girlfriend or your wife, go ahead and purchase your ticket. It is open to all genders. So whether you be homosexual, heterosexual, transgender,
Everybody.
whatever, y'all all come out. It'll be on October 28th out here in Dover at Club Allure from 2 to 4. With the fabulous Miss Shardea. She actually posted a live video of her first class today.
Oh, yeah?
And I was very impressed. Very, very impressed.
So it was nice.
Looking forward, yes.
I got to see that video.
It was.
See what's popping.
You're going to like it. So definitely, if you have not gotten your ticket yet, please go ahead and purchase tickets. Tickets are $25 for a 2-hour class, learning how to twerk and pole dance, or to enhance the ambiance in the bedroom.
Oh, that sounds sexy.
Yes.
Wow. Am I in the video?
You in there.
All right, let
You
me
in there.
scooch up a little bit. What's up, y'all?
That's up when you come late. Shout
Yeah,
out to
that's
Helena.
right.
Shout out to Nanette, Archie. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Eli, welcome. How are
Hey,
you?
so let me tell y'all real quick. It's been a non-stop day. From one job to the next, then to a school function, then down to the studio. And, you know, there are only so many hours in a day.
Right.
So I'm trying to squeeze it all in and, you know, be here for for the GM show.
That's it.
And still do other shit I gotta do too. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to be a part of tonight's conversation, make sure you call in, y'all. 302-272-9772. Nelly B, what's going on with you? You good?
I'm good. It's Wednesday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's been a kind of a crazy week at work, but I'm here. I'm making that money. It's pay week.
We need a happy hour Friday. What's good?
For real.
You got a sitter?
I can figure this out.
Let's get this popping. I'm dead ass.
For real. It's one of them weeks. Like, I really need one.
299 Grill, Middletown. Let's make it happen. I heard they have a decent happy hour.
So check this out. So everybody knows I've been on talking about the happy hour. Everybody knows I've been on my weight loss journey. So yesterday I had this crazy headache that would not budge. I took painkillers and everything, and my headache would not budge, and I didn't know what it was. So my brother kept saying, "Yo, Nelly, you need to drink like a soda. You need some caffeine." But I'm like, Excedrin has caffeine in it. So I'm like, I should be good. So I go to boxing in the morning, and then I go to Zumba in the evening. And I'm sitting here like, I don't feel good. My head is hurting me. So yeah, I drank a Coca-Cola. And I got to Zumba, and I was lit at Zumba, y'all. I don't know what. I was sitting here like, yo, where's this? Yo, I was done. This energy came from nowhere. That's why I did the live video. I don't know if you saw it. But I was sweating. I was drenched. It was crazy. And I kept saying, I went home, and I couldn't even go to sleep. So I'm laying up in my bed like, why can't I sleep? What is going on?
How many ounces did you drink?
It was the regular can, but you know what? I've been on this healthy eating kick since November. So I haven't touched soda. I've been drinking all water and like Gatorade and like, vitamin water.
Word, Joel Bell.
What you say?
What you said.
Right. So I was on, y'all. It was hilarious. I could not figure it out. I was like, what's going on? And I realized it was the caffeine.
Wow.
So I just thought that was like really crazy. I didn't crash because I just kind of slept it off and finally fell asleep.
I do that with coffee sometimes. When I have a headache, I drink some coffee and it squares me right away.
And I didn't know that. Yeah. I don't drink coffee, so I didn't know that. My brother kept saying, yo, get some soda. I'm like, soda?
Are you drinking enough water when you working out too?
All I drink is water.
All right,
All I drink is water, yeah.
That'll do it. What up, Brooks?
So, yeah, anyway. So, shout out to Jason Brooks, Akeisha Presley, Tasha, hey, love, how are you? Richie B, shout out to my uncle. Miami's in the building. I hope y'all are safe out in Florida.
Blessings, bro.
Isabel Duran, shout out to you. Dawn Robinson, Sherelle covered under the blood.
Dawn Robinson. What's up, Dawn? Dawn, what's up with them crabs? And a little bit of, what's that show that just went off on HBO?
Which one?
The season ended. That damn show from another century that everybody caught up in. Comes on HBO.
Insecure?
Dawn know what I'm talking about. It comes on HBO. Dawn, what's the name of that show?
I don't know.
Crabs in this TV show. That's Dawn's thing.
Karen Marion, shout out to you.
Happy belated birthday, Kay.
Definitely. Alicia Michelle, thank you for tuning in.
John Height, homeboy. What's happening, baby? That's Texas in the building.
All right.
Via the crib.
Shout out to you.
Jason Brooks said, what's the topic?
Oh, yeah, we getting to the topic. Sorry, Jay. We just a little bit all over the place today because Eli. See, now I can blame you for real.
It throws her off when I don't introduce her.
It does. It
really
does.
Should I introduce you?
Go ahead, introduce me. Let me feel good.
Welcome to Get Moxie, the Lifestyle Talk Show. I am the Moxie J, Mr. Eli Isabel, and I am one half of your dynamic duo. Sitting to my left, y'all, please, as always, respect the shooter, my homegirl, the author, the therapist, the very lovely Coach Nelly B is in the building. Is that better?
What's happening, y'all? Yes, that's it.
Damn, got to start over.
That's like my fix. It's like my fix, like my drug. It kind of does it.
All right, well, I'm glad you. We good now? You ready to rock?
Thank you. All right, y'all, what's happening? All right, so we in the building. Shout out to Black Cat Studios. Tonight we are talking about Woman Up. Woman Up. I know they probably like, what? Whoa, man.
What the hell is
that? Have women become the men they want to marry? That's what I put in the topic. I know y'all like, what? Have women become the men that they want to marry? We're talking about relationship roles in traditional versus millennium relationships. All I know is times have definitely changed. And real quick, before we continue, please shout out our prayers and love go out to those in the Caribbean and to Puerto Rico that are dealing with the hurricane. It is crazy. All those people who are suffering all these calamities in the world. The 3-year-old that got kidnapped and killed. I mean, the 5-year-old that got killed. Listen, y'all, stay prayed up. Please stay prayed up. Whatever your faith is, stay prayed up. This world is crazy, and there's so much going on.
Is it coming to an end?
Man, is it ever? So everybody, please stay prayed up. I'm sorry, it's a little sidebar, but I want to acknowledge the current events and all that's going on with the government and everything else. Y'all just stay prayed up. Please just stay prayed up.
Pray for your president. I know we can't. A lot of us don't like him, but let's pray for him to be a little bit smarter than he's been, and stop calling dudes with nuclear weapons Rocket Man. Like you trying to tease him like you're in 11th grade.
Right.
Like, come on, Playboy. This life or death out here.
It's a real life. It's a real world.
Don't agitate that dude with the bad haircut. He does not give a fuck.
Right.
Like, leave him alone.
Exactly.
Play nice.
Play nice. For real, for real.
Kim Jong-un. Leave him alone.
Jason Brooks says, sitting to your left.
Did I leave that part out? I got you next week.
Jay said also, Miss Nelly, JF said also, Miss Nelly, when you fast, all the blood goes to your brain and causes high awareness. Okay. When you fast. I haven't fasted. I wasn't on a fast. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with my body that day. But thank you anyway for that insight. So we're talking about relationship roles in traditional versus millennium relationships. And like we said, things have surely changed over the years, from how we knew our parents grew up to how things are operating now. Yes. It's a huge difference. And so now the question is proposed, are women becoming the men that they want to marry?
Wow.
That's deep.
That's heavy.
It isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Maisha. Shout out to you.
Let's go here. With that, you're single.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're a woman. You have, you're a homeowner.
Yes.
You know, you got the car. You got the little gorgeous little fellow right there. You got the fence in the backyard. So you've already amassed everything that most couples amass together, right? Mm-hmm. So you, in a sense, the things you've accomplished for yourself, where does a man come in and fit into that?
Oh, there's a lot of places he can fit.
Well, of
trust
course.
me, there's a whole lot of places a man can fit.
But the life you built for yourself,
right, and
the rules that you live by Nelly's rules,
right.
Where does a man come in to that scenario?
Well, realistically, of course, because
how does it fit?
That's because of what we do for a living. I understand that a man would have to have his role in my life. Absolutely. Even though my little world right now is Nelly's world, but when a man comes in, I will have to allow him to be a man, and that's where a lot of women have issues at, is giving up that responsibility because we've done it for so long. So there is a way that we have to allow a man to be a man. Even though it's been Nelly's world for this long, there is some things I have to give up, some positive manipulation that will have to happen. Is that good?
Which is a skill.
Right. But I'm aware of that. There are some women out there that aren't aware of that. And it's like, this is my world. If you come in, it's my way or no way.
Right.
And unfortunately, that becomes,
Do you recommend, like, if you meet this guy, he proposes, and you guys are really, really serious, like me as a man, like temporarily, I could live in your house, granted, but we have to, like, at some point, this house has, like, for me as a man,
right,
this house has to go on the market, or we rent it out, and then we get our house,
right,
because that's your house,
right,
that's your bed, and I know all men don't think like me, thank God, but I'm thinking about that bed.
Yes.
I'm thinking about what Negro's been in here in this bed. What Negro has been taking a shit in there, where I'm gonna be now taking a shit. Like, all of those things matter to me, and I think it might matter to a few dudes.
Yeah, it does.
When I had a minute where my older daughter's mom moved in with me. Right, we had a minute where she moved in with me, and this heifer made me get rid of my bed.
But see, like, honestly, I would respect that if I was to get with a man that we're moving in together, we're getting married. I would give him that. I would. Only because I understand the ego. Right. And I understand how things go when it comes to the mind. Y'all ain't complicated. Y'all are not complicated, but there are little things that will, cause y'all to twitch. And I get that. And I can respect that.
And that's simple, but to some women, that'll be a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, hell no, I bought this. You know how long it took me to pay this off?
Right.
You know how much a queen size mattress costs?
A queen size. I mean, I have to get me a king size because I like to roll and have my space. So I won't always want him up under me. So I had to get a king size. Word. Exactly. Raymond Flanagan got some very big men. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that would be hard for me to just come into a woman's space. And then I don't know if I would feel like the man of the house in your house.
Right. Well, and I mean, that's something definitely, I personally, Nelly, I'm willing to sit down, discuss, and figure out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Because again, I understand it. But again, that is an issue that a lot of women are having and do have, which causes a lot of complications in relationships. Shout out to the old friend
Tony Muhammad. What up, homeboy?
Shout out to Radiance. Hey, Kima. What's
Radiance?
going on? New York is in the building. Yeah.
Sounds like a dancer name.
She's fly. She's like a dancer.
Radiance.
She's off the chain. And
Coming
she's
to the
West
stage.
Indian. Shout
Radiance.
out.
2 for 1, fellas.
So dumb. So, talking about role reversals in relationships, according to this article right here, the statement was made. Young ladies are acting like young men have young ladies acting like young men have resulted in young men being more emotionally available and wanting a relationship. In short, guys are starting to play the part of a female in relationships.
Wow. So here's where it gets tricky. What do y'all now? That is totally different. But let me just say this: you have some women. They at one breath, y'all want a man who's sensitive, who can have a conversation, is in touch with his emotions. Then on the other hand, if you too much like that, I don't want that soft ass dude. Like man up.
There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance in everything that we do.
Okay.
There has to be a balance. And that's just my only preference. I need a balance.
I agree. But with men, you either one or the most of us, like a lot of us. I can't speak for every man, but we were either one or the other.
Right.
It is, like you said, it's an art to make him that positive manipulation, whatever phrase you term.
Mm-hmm.
There's an art to being that kind of man for a woman. And a lot of men, depending on how you were raised, it's hard to have that balance and straddle that line.
But I also think that's where a lot of communication has to come in. Like, that stuff has to be discussed and established before you say I do, to gain an understanding of where you are. Something me and my son's father was talking about earlier this week was we have to look at the point of reference.
Right.
Because where he came from and where I came from is two different worlds. And we used to always bump heads. And actually, when he brought it up, it's something I always knew, but with him, I was always blurred. We was always like, not always bumping heads, but we had disagreements about things. But when he said that, I was kind of like, I was a little turned on. Don't tell him. I was a little turned on. Like, word? You got that insight? Like, really? Okay, cool. But turn it off real quick. But the point of reference is very important because we all weren't raised the same way.
Right.
We all don't have the same upbringing. Me coming from the West Indies, like I always said on the show before, my mom waited on my dad hand and foot growing up. I mean, she would work, my dad would work. My dad would come home, dinner is on the table waiting for him. My mom would be in the kitchen cleaning up. He would finish, and his plate would sit on the table. He would just get up and leave. And my mom would come and get his plate and clean off the plate and wash it. And I used to sit there like, yo, what is wrong with you? You're not his maid. But back in the West Indies,
it's a cultural thing.
Right, it's a cultural thing. And I used to always be like, I wish my nigga would. He better wash that plate out after I done cook for him all day. And
question.
Shoot.
Why can't... See, that's the difference. See, right there. Now, where you look at that as, ain't nothing wrong with his hands and feet. He can put his own dish up.
Right.
Now, that is a cultural, traditional thing in a traditional thing in your culture, right? And I think in some, just African-American households, too. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like women... And I can speak for maybe down south. I think that may tend to happen too.
Right.
And so you take that way of how your mom did it and maybe how my sisters have done it to now. Mm-hmm. This is where the issue is. Like, balance is what we don't have. Like, you look at that as like, what the hell?
Well, so, back then. Now that where I'm at now, I totally get it.
But women today.
Right.
A lot of women today, they're like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Like, I'm not, man, you better go in there and get your plate out the microwave. You know what I mean? So it's not like, so it is a different time. And I think, I'm not saying the way your mom and dad did it was right or wrong. It worked for them.
It worked for them.
It worked for them. But I'll be hard pressed to find a couple 30, I'll say 50 and under who operate that way.
Yeah.
In 2017.
Well, I mean, right. Well, I mean, even now in 2017, honestly, and their anniversary was just on the 18th. Shout out to my mom and dad. 41 years still married.
Oh, that's a blessing.
41 years still married, still going strong.
Damn.
I mean, they've had their ups and downs, but they still going. So, I mean, it worked. It worked for them. He's still around. I mean, but again, we have to look at
he's a benefit. Why would he leave?
He never left. He never cheated. I'm sure they had their falling outs, but from what I've seen growing up, even to now as an adult, they're still together and they're still doing their thing. My mom actually is kind of crazy though, because my mom really, she really wants. She's like, Nelly, my life is like boring, and I'm like, what?
Wow.
So like now she wants to go on cruises, and she wants my dad to go dancing, and my dad is looking at her like, do what? You want me to do what?
Is he with it though?
No.
Because now's the
No.
time. Your parents are what, 60s?
Yeah, 62 and
62. Now's the time for them to be doing that. Your dad need to get with the program.
Well, my dad, you're talking about an old West Indian Jamaican man. Like, seriously. This dude is so set in his ways.
Is he tight with $1?
No, well, because she could ask for a new Jaguar today, and it'll be
He'll
in the
make it
driveway
happen.
tomorrow morning.
Okay.
That's the type of dude. He'll do anything for my mother, like, whatever she wants. And so I could kind of see why she waits on him here and there. Like, they work. So
it's a good balance.
Well, he is going on a cruise with her in November. First cruise ever.
Word.
At 63 years
Go ahead,
old.
Mr. Birthright.
Like, really, that's crazy. But, so he's trying. So I give him that.
Mr. Birthright said, you know what happened the last time they convinced a bunch of black people to get on a boat?
Exactly.
We ended up in America.
Right.
Say the hell with that. That's
My dad
old
said,
school
look,
right
I'm
there.
a citizen now. I'm a citizen.
Y'all ain't taking me back nowhere.
Joelle says sometimes we have to decide if what our ideas of male and female roles are blocking us from having a successful, healthy relationship.
Wow.
I agree with that.
Wow.
I definitely agree with that.
That's real talk.
I agree. JF says, I think we as men must protect the innermost thoughts of our women so you can all delve into those things that help make you all more complete. So it's the job of the men to protect the innermost thoughts of the women. How so, JF? By doing what? Like, what are some ways that you're talking about?
You know what? I think there's some merit in that too. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that by doing that, then I think you get a woman who reacts to her man the way your mom has reacted to your father for 41 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Again, that's amazing right there. Because I know a couple of people. I mean, I'm talking about maybe on one hand, like my friends' parents who have been together since we were little. Like, to me, I always respect that, and it's commendable. And I don't know if I want to do any one thing or one person for 41 years. That sounds horrible, right?
I think we talked about it before when Rena was here. It's a choice you have to make, and it's work. Yeah. And I was talking to somebody last night, and they asked me a question about like the spark in their relationship, and he was like, what happens when the spark is gone? I said it takes work to bring it back. You don't just quit on a relationship because that spark is gone. So I think for 41 years with them being together or whatever relationship, it takes work, and the people have to be willing to work.
You know what? I think when couples are together and they've raised their children, and now it's just you and your wife, and it's just you and that person. You're all you got in the house. There are no more distractions, so to speak.
Right.
There are no daily distractions with children, getting people off to school.
Right.
If you can maintain for another 20, 25 years after that, then that's real love right there.
Right.
Because I often wonder, like, once there are no children, once Haley's gone, and everybody's growing and doing their own thing, and it's just us.
Right.
And I like, well, then what we gonna have? Because so much of your world is built around your children.
Right.
When you have children and you're raising them, Haley's schedule, her shit's more hectic than mine.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it has to be the love there. It has to be the dedication to that person. And do millennials have that ability to sustain that?
I think we all have the ability. It's just whether we want to or not. Because everything is so accessible. Everything is like this popcorn generation. Everything is so like, okay, we have an issue in our relationship, divorce, I'll move to the next. Nobody wants to put in work anymore. I.e. even the weight loss situation.
Right.
Nobody wants to work out. Everybody, let's just get the surgery. You know what I'm saying? So I think the millennial, we have the ability to do it. It's just the choice to actually do it is where, because we just got everything at our fingertips.
Things are really convenient in every single way in every part of our lives. And divorces, like, remember how it seemed like people got divorced back in the day, it took like years?
Yeah.
Now, if you both ain't divided up nothing, that shit can happen in 6 months. As long as y'all ain't having sex, it could go down.
Separated for 6 months.
It could really go down that fast. Like, that's crazy.
Shout out to Charisma Ariel, Julie Martin's Sparkle Sparrow.
Hey, Sparkle.
I met her at a conference.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, boo, we didn't get that picture. How are you? Abden Chambers. I was thinking about you today. I really was. I drove past the studio.
Oh, yeah? What up, Ab?
And I was like, I should stop by.
Wow.
Hey, God. It's good to see you, God. I missed you, God.
What up, Kaiwan?
Hey,
I'm saying that right. Kiwan. My bad, brother.
That's my baby.
Tony Muhammad says that's the time you travel and see the world once the children are gone.
Right, but a lot of the issue comes in is, like you said, we focus so much around raising the kids,
right,
and being mom and dad, we lose ourselves. So when the kids are gone, you're like, oh, who are you again?
Right.
You know, it's like meeting a person for the first time all over.
Yeah.
But that's why it's very important to keep dating each other during this time and really having your own quality time.
Right.
Because you lose yourself as a parent, you do.
Lamar Hayward, my man on the line. His parents, Lamar, how long have your parents been together? I've known Lamar. This is Garland's brother.
Okay.
I've known Lamar since he was probably like 12. Lamar's got to be mid-30s now.
Wow.
Easy, not to tell your age, bro. But Lamar, how long have your parents been together? Like his parents, like if you're around them, you talk about people who joke,
right,
and have a good time, like good, just down home people laugh. Like they really remind me of some people from back home.
Mm-hmm.
Like just good people, man.
Right.
And when I see them, that gives. If you watch them, you'll get hope.
Wow.
As far as like having a long, sustained relationship.
That's awesome.
So it is a beautiful thing.
Shout out to Raymond, Remy Williams. Hey, Mama. Atlanta's in the building.
What up, Nick?
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, we are talking about Woman Up. Have women become the men they want to marry? Relationship roles.
That sounds so gangster.
You do, right? But I mean, it's crazy. But it kind of happens like that. Like some like these independent women, we've actually taken on the role of a dude. You know,
women.
Go ahead.
Listen, let me tell you something. I work with quite a few single women, and when you talk about like a man, like they want to date, yeah. Do they want to have a boyfriend that leads to a potential relationship? Yeah, but there's so many stipulations because of the stuff they've been through.
Right.
And even if they were like knocked off their feet financially and now they've gotten it together, it's hard for them to now share or relinquish that. All of that success and things you've done to get back on your feet, it's hard to relinquish to share that with somebody because you just don't know. So it's easy for me to be the man of my house and accept those happy Father's Day freaking shout outs on Father's Day when your ass is the mom. I hate that, by the way. Stop, ladies, stop doing that. You're not a father.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually had a couple of associates text me on Father's Day. It was like, Happy Father's Day, Nelly. I was like, no, my son has a dad. No, he has a dad.
Like, what is that?
I'm not the father. We're not doing that.
And do women deserve all the credit in the world? Because there are a lot of single mothers out here, absolutely. Right. Yeah, but you can never, you don't peace standing up until when you start doing that. Then let's have a conversation about wishing you Happy Father's Day.
I mean, you can never replace. Realistically, we can never be the man in a relationship. Realistically, but yes, there are a lot of women out here that are taking on that role because of different circumstances. However, but let's be for real. We could never be the man. Because even me raising a son,
right?
There are things I could never teach my son that his father can teach him. You know, so like credit, we got to give credit where credit is due. Now, if he's a deadbeat and there's nobody in the picture and it's you holding it down, just be all right with Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Just be all right.
You're still not the dad.
You're still not the dad. It did take a dad to get your child, but you know.
You need that Negro or whoever you date to make that happen.
Right.
So don't discredit that.
Shout out to Tamika Johnson. Hey, Boo. Hey, Giselle Taylor. Andrea Bailey. Barbara Boyer. Corey Van. Thank you for tuning in.
Corey says they got Bob in their life. You know what Bob is? B.O.B.?
I've heard of Bob before.
Battery operated boyfriend.
Yes, definitely.
Yo, we get replaced in all kind of ways now. It's a damn shame.
Well, with today's technology, I mean, the women are being replaced too.
You seen the whole full mannequin?
They have a full mannequin of female as well as a male.
Like, yo.
The sex toys are getting ridiculous in relationships. And it's going to make it harder. Right. It's going to make it harder for these role reversals because, you know, the saying that women like to say, I don't need a man. Yeah, you kind of do still.
Yeah.
Because the toys can't replace them, but for so much.
And that's just the natural order of the world, right? Isn't that why we're here?
Right.
To be together and to procreate. So, you know, you do hear, you never hear a man say, I don't need no, I guess they do. Mm-hmm. But you don't hear it at the rate that women say, I don't need no man. Right. Don't let no man, you don't need no man to do nothing.
Right.
Like, yo, I know in order for me to be half of anything, I need somebody holding me down and encouraging me and pushing me.
Right.
So listen, I don't know how anybody can say they don't need the opposite sex. or the same.
Right.
Whatever that person is for you,
right.
You need it.
Right. Shout out to Neosha Stanfield, Vanessa Latrice, thank you guys for tuning in. Corey says, Eli, be careful what you ask for. They might start standing up.
Listen, that's probably on the way.
If you just tuning in, welcome to Get Moxie. We are talking about Woman Up. Have women become the men they wanted to marry? Relationship roles. In today's generation, things have been flipped and swapped like crazy. And is that what's keeping us from having that successful relationship? And I think Joel said it earlier. Is that's what's really keeping us from that? We're so focused on the roles and how important is it that the man changes the tires and the woman is cooking? Because there's some men out there that can cook they behind off.
Right.
My ex, let me tell you, my ex he was good for nothing, but he could cook. Y'all, let me tell y'all, a whole 3-course meal this dude could throw down. And I say he's good for nothing because that's why we ain't work out. But he could throw he cooked. And when he cooked, we was good. When he was sitting on the couch being a bum, deuces, you got to go.
So let's go back to this. Corey, I want Nelly to answer your question too.
Okay.
But Nelly, let me say this. Let's go back 30 years ago, right? The man, sort of the traditional roles, I say 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. The traditional roles sort of back then were the men worked, the women raised the children.
Right.
Not in every household. Right. But that was kind of how I think a lot of people were raised that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that was the natural order of things, at least the way we saw it back then. Mm-hmm. Now, today, so you just said that we get confused, or our relationships get messed up because we're worried about roles being defined. So Nelly, could you have a guy, or ladies in general on the feed, could you have a guy who stayed home and took care of the kids and you went to work? Now, I think some women could be okay with that, but I think their environment around them, the people around them wouldn't be okay with it. So therefore, they would end up not being okay with it.
Nelly, personally, I wouldn't care what the environment say. If he's going to stay home, take care of the kids, take care of the household duties, so when I come home from work, that's something I won't have to worry about. I will come home, I will cook for him, I will run his bath water, and I will please him like never before, every night, faithfully. And would. Yes, I would. I have no problem with that. I feel like as long as he's doing his part,
right,
I'm cool with that. It's all right. I will make the money. I don't have a problem with that.
As all the homegirls are saying, Nelly, he's a bum. Like, why don't your man work? You know, when all that noise comes about.
And you know what I'm going to say to them?
What's that?
Until the day they in my bedroom, pleasing me, then I'll worry about that.
Okay. Well, that, listen, if you are strong and I guess mature enough or whatever the words may be to have that lifestyle, go for it. I just think for me as a man, I got to work.
Right.
Even if my woman made $1 million a year and I made 40, I'm going to work. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like that. And again, like Joel said, we get caught up in the roles and reversals of what we think feels natural, right? As opposed to like, yo, that's a weak ass dude. Mm-hmm. I don't know. For me, I would have to do something.
Right. No, and that's what I mean. When I say he's home, like just taking care of household duties. When it comes time for him to step up, like if we have to make certain decisions, if there's certain things that need to be done, where he has to, play that role as our man. Can you? Okay. Go ahead.
Can you respect him as your man, as the leader of your household, mm-hmm. if he's home taking? And there's nothing wrong with a man being sensitive or being sensitive to his children and taking care of his family in that way. But do you respect him the same as the leader of your household if he doesn't?
Yes, because I see him as still doing his stuff. When the kids are off to school, he's doing the yard work. He's, fixing stuff around the house. So he's still doing
baking cookies and shit.
He could bake all the cookies you want to. I'm right with it. With your boxes hanging off your behind, whatever. I'm fine with that.
As long as he got his Timbs on and he's tall, dark skinned, bow legged.
And he got his fitted on. His New York fitted. No, real talk though. I'm okay with that because it's not like he's just sitting home doing nothing. Like he's doing the yard work. He might be building a deck on the back of the house. He's doing things. So he's still doing his part. He may not be out working out in the vineyard, out in the field, or but he's still home doing his thing. I'd be okay with that, and I'm only saying that, because I'm secure enough to still give him that.
Let me read Tony Muhammad's top.
Hold on. Shout out to Jeffrey, my brother. He's on the app on the Hottest Live Radio.
Oh, what up, Jeff?
He's tuning in from the app, so shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Dana Davis, Tasha Mullen, Wanda. Hey, Mom Wanda, Crystal Ann, Michael Drummond.
My cousin. What up, Gene Russell in the building?
Quentin Williams, Longevity. Hey, Keisha.
Longevity
Kumba,
personifies in the
yes, Kumba, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, you are watching again Moxie Lifestyle Talk Show. Tonight's topic, we are talking about Whoa Man Up. Have women become the men they want to marry?
Right.
Relationship roles.
So Tony says if a man stays home and he rears the children, then the man turns into the woman. He has no authority in the house. You couldn't possibly respect him as a man.
Absolutely, I would.
You know what?
I have a different mentality.
Right,
That's
you
my
do.
thing. I have
You
a
do.
different mentality.
But I don't know if even if you was my wife and I couldn't even take that chance.
Right.
Of you like coming home and you looking at me like you have a rough day and here I am coming over there like, baby.
Yes.
I mean, you should
back,
do that
rub
anyway.
my feet. What?
I know, but
Listen,
I don't know. I
I'm
need to
sucking
just,
the skin off of
I gotta show up. Damn. What's skip at?
Stupid. Shout out to Marlena Green. Joelle says, in the end, whatever the roles and responsibilities are, if you both feel like we are contributing to the best of our abilities and the logistics of the marriage are being met, more power to y'all.
If it works for y'all, then there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
You know, I just feel like I gotta, like I said, if you made $1 million and I made 40,000, I gotta throw my little nickel in the bucket.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
You throw your nickel in there.
I gotta throw my little nickel in the bucket. You gonna make me feel like I'm doing something around here.
But I think that's also the issue too. A lot of women in these kind of instances, they make the men feel inferior. Whereas because I understand the ego, like I said, I'm a different type. I won't do that. I'm not bringing home my $1,000, my $1 million paycheck. Like, yeah, I made this money.
Well, that's true.
No, I'm not going to do that because I understand. I'm not trying to emasculate my man. That's still the one that I love.
And what if I wanted something that costs? What if I wanted a new car? I basically got to come to you and be like, yo, babe.
No, I don't think it's.
Can I get a new minivan?
Right. Okay.
For me and the kids.
No, I don't think it should be.
Right.
I don't think it should be about asking. But we should be able to sit and budget together. I was just doing a couples counseling on Sunday, and I tell them, I'm like, yo, y'all are on the same team. So what goes for one goes for the other.
Right.
So if there's an issue, if there's financial issues, we should be able to sit at the table together and come up with a game plan together. It's not about asking for money. It's not about you asking me, can I get gas money? You need, babe, I need gas money. I'm going to go ahead and take that out the account. You know, whatever, fine, whatever. Or you just go do it or fill up the gas tank, whatever. But there's a responsibility still there to communicate effectively.
Corey Van said that. Corey said the next thing you know, she'll be throwing your legs up behind your ears.
See, no, and that's where it becomes a problem. See, that's where it becomes a problem. Now right there, Corey, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Hey, Corey, I feel you, though. You might as well bend over.
No. When the dude starts bending over and start doing all that, that's where my mind can no longer comprehend. Nah, that's the problem. Corey Wilkinson says, it takes grown, mature people to be in a relationship these days. Communication. And effective communication, Corey.
That is
to add to that. Because we communicate half-heartedly.
That's key.
Babe, I went to lunch with the fellas and didn't say that I spent $100 on strippers at lunch. But I told you I went to lunch with the fellas.
Well, he didn't lie. We just ate lunch at the strip club.
Right.
That's why, remember, we always talk about this. That's why I always say that when people always talk about, my wife or my husband is my best friend. Bullshit.
Right.
Because guess what? I can tell my homie anything. But I can't tell my wife I went to lunch. I could, but I can't tell her that without with a brow being raised.
My thing is this.
I ate lunch at the strip club.
Okay, you can't tell your wife. My thing is this. If that's what you tell me as my husband, that's fine. Just be okay if I tell you something like that too. That's where the issue of the double standard comes in at. You can tell me that and I'm supposed to be all right with that. Cool. All right, fine. But the day I tell you, me and my girls went to the strip club and we saw a Mandingo and he was all in our face and everything else.
I hope he ain't got his thing in you. Look, as long as he ain't slapping you around your face with the Johnson.
But nobody said nothing to you when you was at the strip club with your boys.
I know.
We didn't
I'm
set,
just
we
saying,
didn't set parameters.
her coochie ain't in my face.
But we ain't set parameters.
This is a sidebar, y'all. Ain't no coochie in my face.
My thing is, if you going to dish it, be all right with taking it. In this generation, in this age, if you going to dish it, be all right with taking it if it come back. That's
I know
I'm
dudes
saying.
who date the stripper, so it's all good. in this day and age.
That's all I'm saying.
They date the stripper.
Thank you, Debony, for the amen.
What up, Deb? Deb, you don't love me no more. It's all
I
good,
know, we
though.
ain't seen it in a minute. Shout out to Shauna Mae, Mason, Keisha Brown, Corey Wilkes says, if it works for your relationship, it works for you. Relationships today, we have to remove your ego. Thank you.
No,
the ego has got to go.
The ego, listen, the ego is a mother.
Right.
That thing can make or break any relationship. And if you don't have a handle on that thing right there, and which most of us struggle with that.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to the opposite sex being involved with our woman. That's a struggle. Like, you going to lunch with him again? Like, what the fuck is, like, what is that?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's hard.
Shout out to Shanae Anderson. Thank you for tuning in, love. Dana says, gender roles are just the roles. It's both the man and women are contributing in some way, shape, or form. One is not more important than the other. Right. A man shall still be a man, the king of the castle. A woman shall be a woman if she works, period. I think it's really all about how you carry the relationship.
Right.
Because like Corey said, if you're not mature, you're going to come throwing in his face that you make more money than him.
Right.
You're going to come throwing it, it always happens when y'all have disagreements, that we start fighting unfair. As a therapist, it's something we always talk about, fighting fear. Let's fight fear. But no, that's when we want to take the digs and then emasculate the man and mess with the egos, and it gets dirty.
And that's hard for us to come back from.
Right.
When you make me feel like I'm less than as your mate or your husband, that's when the ice starts to crack.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because guess what? I don't care if that dude is a stay-at-home father. There's always another woman out there that's willing to make him feel like a king. Somebody who ain't got nobody.
Absolutely.
So I think women do, and that's no excuse to do anything outside your relationship. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, I think men too, we have to be careful about how we beat our partner down. Because the shit you don't like, that nigga over there love it.
Sure do.
Forgive me for using the N-word.
Sure
that
do.
brother over there loves it.
Sure
so,
do.
Yep.
I
done messed with other people's wives, so I know.
Oh,
Back in the day.
Before he was saved, yesterday.
Wow.
Shout out to Marlena Green. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Get Moxie Lifestyle Talk Show. Tonight we are talking about Woman Up. Have women become the men they wanted to marry? Relationship roles. Like we said earlier in the relationships, things ain't what they used to be. The times have changed. What worked for mom and dad and big mama and them, it don't work nowadays. Things have changed. Things are so different. And so I think that's causes a lot of issues in relationships today. I want to read this real quick. And this kind of blew my mind with relationship roles.
It blew your mind, damn.
Yeah, sex. So there used to be relatively clear-cut attitudes about sex back in the day. Check this out. The man's wishes were what counted back in the day.
What happened? God damn it.
No one believes that anymore. But there is still an expectation in our culture that the husband should take the lead in initiating sex, but not all the time. Husbands or wives are not likely to start off automatically in agreement about exactly how much sex they would prefer to have. It is not reasonable to expect that two people will want exactly the same amount of sex, whether it is the number of children they should have, or the number of times they should go out on vacation, or the number of times they're supposed to have sex.
Wow.
That blew my mind. I didn't know that. So back in the day, it was all about the men and their wishes.
I could believe that. Which that mentality and attitude has been passed down. Because you think about,
had me cuss on the show.
You think about all of the bad advice a lot of us have gotten from, if our fathers weren't there.
Right.
All of the bad advice has been passed down to us.
Right.
And it's a lot of men that think that now. When it comes to sex and being pleased, it's really all about them. It's some dudes that carry that same mentality today. And y'all don't know it until he get his thing off and he roll over and he's snoring. And y'all like, well, what the hell happened? You know what I mean? So if you're dating that dude, that attitude persists.
Hi, this live. If y'all could see my face right now, straight sex is just about the man. Yeah, okay.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I'm not saying it.
I'm just saying.
It shouldn't be.
Thank you, Dana.
What Dana say?
She said, that's not it with that.
Please me and let me go to sleep.
Right. No, but so that was, I didn't know that was something back in the day. I said, that's kind of crazy. But to some degree, I do understand that with the whole submission thing back in the day. And you just do whatever your husband wants and all that. Well, I'm glad times have changed because Nelly would not have made it back in the day. I sure wouldn't.
You would. You know why you would have made it? You know how we always say, well, and in the hell I could have been a slave. Yeah, if you would came over on that damn boat, you'd have conformed, or you'd have got killed.
Right.
So yeah, you had an option.
That's true. If I had an option.
Yeah, you'd have conformed, or you'd have had one goddamn foot.
Well, we thank God for deliverance.
You know. So yeah, it you know.
Shout out to John too. Thank you for tuning in.
What did DK say?
Oh, let's go down to DK's post real quick. Really, in the society, what is it that defines a man? We have seen sexuality become very fluid. Mm-hmm. True. We have seen traditional roles changing. So, what is a man really? In my mind, I am the backbone from where my family grows. I support my branch of the tree, even if the Mrs. Part have more leaves on it. This has, sorry y'all, I ain't got my glasses on. This has not really changed over time. We need to transition from the material and look at the essence of manhood. Finally, a man should not need external validation. Let me say that again. A man should not need external validation on him being a man. I am a man regardless of who I am with or where I might be.
Now.
Yes.
He made some good points there, but when he gets to the bottom, he says a man should not need external validation on being a man. Mm-hmm. And let's keep it funky. Mm-hmm. When you're coming up and you're growing into your manhood, everything you do, men need validation. Period. Mm. And it might not necessarily mean needed for me to. I'm a man. Hear me, man. Feel me, roar. But I'm just saying. I think that's why you said submission is a part of validating. Like if you have a relationship where the woman is, if he's a good man and he's leading properly, mm-hmm. and she's a submissive wife, people don't even know what that means. A lot of people don't. Right. That's a part of validating his manhood. Mm-hmm. Men seek that. Go back. So when you get a little money, you get your first car. You want validation, so you go get a car. You might put rims on it. Right. You might go get a loud radio system, mm-hmm. or you might just go, okay, all the girls like Polo. So right. And the fellas like, oh, he clean. He always clean, and the girls all like you. Men constantly, subconsciously seek validation, right. whether they know it or not. Right. So I know how DK makes several good points, and he's right. We should not, but I just think subconsciously men seek validation on being a man.
Right. I mean, I think it goes both ways because women do too. That's right. Why we keep our hair done and we come home to our husbands and our boyfriends and like, babe, you ain't say that about my hair. Because we want you to realize that, we want you to see that, acknowledge that, right. and validate that you like our hair. So I do agree that to some degree we do need some type of validation. I think the issue comes in is when we step outside of our relationship to get that validation. Then it becomes a problem.
But see, that's where the lack of communication is.
Absolutely.
Because if we're not mature enough to tell our partner what we need and what we want, right. then you're never. Now, if you're telling this person and they still are refusing to give you what you are asking for, they not saying that's here's your green light to go do whatever. Right. But I understand mm-hmm. if I'm telling you, baby, this is what I need from you, right. and you're like, I'm not doing it. Right. I can't give you that. Or, because some people, you know what? I'm going to take you back. Like, I always talk to, and I'm going to get a little personal. I talk to my oldest sister all the time about my oldest brother, right? Mm-hmm. He's 15 years older than me. And all my life, I've wanted him to just, like, be my big brother. Right. Like, give me, like, I should be able to come to you with issues. And you're 15 years older than me, and you give me that advice. And exactly. Finally, I realized, you know what? He doesn't know how to do that. Mm-hmm. And I've expected something from him that he doesn't have, but I expected it from him because he was older. Right. You know what I mean? And I think I think that we shouldn't automatically expect things from people because they're in a different place, or they're older, or they have more life experience. Right. As with the relationship, sometimes people just don't know how to do it.
Going back to the point of reference, we have to look at people's point of reference. If you don't understand where they're coming from, you're not going to understand why you can't get what you need. Right. Because they may not be able to supply that. They may not know how to. My parents, again, coming from the old days, the West Indies, they coming from the butt crack of Jamaica. My dad was not an emotional person. He's not, even to today, he's coming around a little bit, but he's not an emotional person. As the only girl, I needed to hear, I love you. I never heard that as a little girl. So...
Exactly, Joel.
I hated him for a good while growing up. It wasn't until I understood that he never knew how to express emotions because that's not what they did back in the day. Right. All they did was worked and provided. But as I got older, I began to understand that, and I was able to sit and talk to him and help him understand. As a father to a daughter, I need to hear those words, I love you. Not every time I come and I call you, you just put money in my hands. I appreciate the money. However, I need more than that. Right. But I need, I need that mental and emotional connection.
Right.
And so now as an adult, because I didn't have that growing up, when dudes come at me now with money, I look at them like, okay.
Been there, done that.
Right. I got my own money. I work hard. Thank you. I need that emotional and mental connection. So when a dude can stimulate me mentally and keep me, emotionally feed me, you can get it. And dudes don't, guys don't understand. They think I'm being stuck up. But I had to look at my dad's point of reference and no longer hold that against him, but understand him. And so it's very important to understand the person and the people you're dealing with, even outside of your intimate relationship, friendships, family ships, all of that.
Yeah. And Corey says he catches hell if he doesn't recognize the new era.
Right.
Yes, you do. But you know what?
All men do.
Joel said role expectations, even if it's your parent or your mate. I just think we automatically place expectations on people because of their role in our life and what we think they should be able to provide for us. And that's not fair to that person.
Right.
And in the end, we're the only one that's like left looking around like why can't you give me this?
And also because of what we give. Because I can give you the shirt off my back. Because I can be that best person. I expect you to be that to me.
Right.
Not realizing it. Just because you do it, everybody's not going to do it. Michael Drummond says you have to find out what works as a couple. This isn't the 1950s where women are supposed to stay home and take care of the family. This is 2017. Women want to be as equal and contribute to the family. Women have had to take more of the responsibility because of the single households, where women have had to be the mothers and fathers in the household. So coming into a marriage, you have to find, communicate, and balance minus the egos within the marriage. Absolutely.
Do women bring egos into marriage?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
We have egos as well.
Are you more likely to cast yours aside for the sake of, the sake of your relationship?
For the sake of wanting to be loved and wanting to matter to someone, yes.
Okay. I'm just saying. I know it works differently for men and women. I'm just trying to get some understanding.
No, but women will. We will lower our standards. We will throw our egos out just to matter to someone. We will. JF says, I think you're right, Miss Nelly, but although people change, values do not. We return always to those things that served us in the long term. We have certain freedoms because someone sacrificed for that freedom. I think he was going off of DK's comment too.
Yeah,
the culture, the values.
Right. And but the thing about relationships and love too, we all know that, and we've said this before. Love is a fluid thing.
Yes.
It is here, is here. And now, if you don't have communication, you can't keep up with those changes from your partner.
Right.
And that's how I think you start to grow apart. Because I ain't gonna even say, okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say women. Like their emotions fluctuate. Yeah. So you have to be a mature enough man, or you have to be in tune to your mate enough to at least be able to say, hey,
right,
what's going on? What can I do different, or to help you through whatever work this out.
I'm gonna say this to that, and the women might not like me for this. Women, there's a responsibility too, because we like to assume that he's supposed to just know. We assume that he's just supposed to know that I have an attitude because he didn't acknowledge my hair. Women, get off yourselves.
Right.
There is a responsibility there for us to communicate as well. If something is wrong, say it. Your man, your girlfriend, whatever your preference is, they're not psychic. They're not going to just know. Yes, the male or the mate is supposed to be in tune enough to know something is off, but don't give them a hard time. Communicate.
Let me tell you about the simplicity of men, and this is why women don't need to be on that kind of time. Shout out to Simone, Dr. Brown, cousin Erica Calhoun in Florida. I hope all is well with you, love. I love you. Here's the simplicity of the man where women don't understand. I said this one day. I said sometimes I'm in meetings at work, and we're talking about mental health, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking, and I amaze my damn self. Because I look at the people around the room, they be like, damn, he know his shit. So when I'm talking and I'm getting my thing off, and I'm being informative, and I'm bringing new, innovative ideas.
Right.
And then I'm looking for my damn cell phone. I can't find my cell phone, and it's in my pocket. So
simple.
I'm telling you about the simplicity of men. Don't do that to us because it's too much. Like we're brilliant and we're idiots at the same time.
Amen.
I'm just gonna keep
Amen.
it funky. We're
Amen.
brilliant and we're idiots at the same time.
Amen.
So you gotta work with us.
Amen.
A little bit.
It's very true.
I'm just saying. I can say that.
True. Hey, Deanna Wright, thank you for tuning in. Kate Tucker, hey Kate. How are you, love? Dr. Simone, you did shout her out. Shamel Van, thank you for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, we are talking about Whoa Man Up. Have women become the men they wanted to marry? We're talking about relationship roles and how times have changed. It ain't like mama and them no more.
It is different.
It is very different.
I work with women, and and so I bring my lunch every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they be like, and they're like, "Yo, your wife make your lunch for you." I say, well, technically she cooks, so I bring whatever. I eat leftovers. Everybody don't.
Right.
So I have food every day if I choose to bring it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so what's your husband take for lunch? They was like, shit, whatever he can come up with. and I'm like, yo, I said, so you never make him lunch? Like you never, like to me that's just like they almost offended.
Right.
Or they're looking at me with a side eye like, your wife crazy. I wouldn't be doing that shit every day. Like, yo.
It's a different time.
I work 30 jobs and she gets all my money.
Mm-hmm.
If her brother can't get a piece of chicken and a salad
right.
for lunch 3 days a week,
yeah.
what the hell are we doing out here?
Right.
It's a different time.
Shamel says, I agree. I communicate my feelings. That attitude comes if I tell you how I feel about something and you still don't try or seem to understand. Yes, because men could be very nonchalant. But one thing I'm going to share with you, with Shamel, this is one thing I'm going to share with you and all the women out there. Because men are very simple, we can't be deep with them. We like, seriously, y'all, like, I think I'm playing right now. No, I'm not married, but I'm telling y'all the truth. We can't be deep. We can't tell them that the reason why you're feeling an influx of feelings is because when you were at work, your boss made you feel like you were inferior, although you were the best presenter. They ain't listening to none of that. None of that. You got to keep it simple, dummy it down, and then tell them straight, listen, babe, just hold me, make me feel like I matter right now.
Right.
Simple. You ain't got to explain nothing about work, what your boss did, what your girlfriend betrayed you, because, girl, they not listening to none of that. Babe, just hold me. I just need you to hold me. I need to feel like I matter. Just tell me it's going to be all right, whether you believe it or not. Just tell me. You got to keep it simple with them, because they don't.
It's not that we're not listening. I said this on the TV show. Ladies give us 20 different things they want us to improve on. I'm telling you, like, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Let me get this one thing squared away and get that need met, then I'll move on to the next.
They slow.
Don't give me 10 things to solve in this relationship that I'm messing up.
Right.
And I got to solve all 10 of them at the same damn time. That's not going to happen.
I mean, and don't get it twisted. I do feel like sometimes men, they play on that simpleness. So they do.
Well, it ain't a play.
Some of y'all, it is a play. Some of y'all ain't that dumb. Y'all really not.
Didn't I just tell you I'm brilliant 1 minute and I can't find my cell phone the next and it's in my damn pocket?
It's probably right in your hands. But I do agree. And it frustrates us because we women, we could multitask. We could do so much.
Y'all can.
So that's why we're just like, you know what, just forget it. We'll do it ourselves. Just whatever. And then it frustrates us. So you guys got to kind of understand us as well.
Listen, I know y'all.
You guys have to understand that you know what I mean? You got to be a little bit compassionate with us. Because listen, we're shakers and movers. Let's go. Let's get it done. And if you're not doing your part and you're not moving fast enough,
that's a problem.
Well, give us just be like, all right, babe, you got that.
Listen, I give women their props. You know what I mean? I don't mess around with that. Y'all are the multitaskers. Y'all can do. Listen, I once saw my wife change Haley's pamper with both hands and turn over chicken in a skillet with her feet at the same goddamn time. So I know the power of a woman. So I don't argue with any of that right there. I'm just saying for us, you gotta move me slow. Let me accomplish this, and then we go on.
Shabelle says, whatever, Eli, we are expected to be superwoman. Yes, and y'all are just simple. Exactly. Dana says, men go through changes as well. They may not vocalize as we do because men have the tendency to hold their emotions inward and shut down. Communication. I agree.
She's right.
There's responsibility on both the male and the female to, oh wow, our time is just slipping away, to communicate exactly what's going on. We got to wrap this up. Dana says women need to talk. They want
Word,
you to
Corey.
listen to them. If a man is going through something, all you got to do is give them head. He'll forget all about it.
Who said that?
Dana.
Who said that?
Dana said that.
We can end the show on that. That's it.
Men are simple. Dana says women need to talk. They want you to listen to them. If a man is going through something, all you got to do is give him head, and he will forget all about it. Men are simple. Laugh out loud. All right, so Dana's solution is men listen to the women. Women just give your man head, and he'll be fine. Simple
Yes.
as. I
Amen.
can't deal with this.
That's the realest thing said all night.
I can't. We're about to wrap this
I'm
up,
just
but before
saying.
we go, remember, no matter gender roles, relationship roles,
my God.
it's really not that important. We have to focus on the communication and doing what works for you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Work within your relationship to make the best of your relationship. Do you have anything, Eli?
Amen to Dana Davis. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Meet us here next week, same time, same place, right here on Get Moxie, the Lifestyle Talk Show. The hottest live followers. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you guys next week. Take
Shout out
care.
Michael Drummond. Thank you, bruh.
Yes, Michael.
Rush to get Moxie.
Really? I like my wife to shake and move.
You like what?
No, I was reading Corey's comment.
G Lord, what up, baby?
G Baby's on there.
G Baby's on at the very.
Hi, G Baby.
G's on and the theme music is playing. Come on, dog. Show us some love. Thanks, Dana.
There go Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Jeffrey B. at bringing in the rear.
He probably signed on because of what Dana said.
Oh, what she said. Wow. Thank you guys as always for rocking with us. I'll be on time next week. We got a great show for y'all next week too, by the way. We have a very one of the smartest people I know, my man Cliffon Howell, man, he's gonna come through and drop some jewels. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna kick that shit. And be here next week for my man Cliff. He has a radio show on Blog Talk Radio called The Brown Eye Perspective. Be here for that, man. Phenomenal brother. Smart. So we're going to kick it next week. So come back, y'all.
Definitely. And the week after, we'll have a special guest here. We're going to be doing the show with our wonderful ladies of, we have Dawn, Michelle, Shauna, all of them that we did our show before. Hopefully we'll bring them back the following week. And we're going to talk about, just because I like you don't mean that I want you.
Damn. What good am I?
Okay. Just because I like you don't mean that I want you. So tune in next week. We love y'all. Have a great weekend. This fool.
What good am I?
What
good am I? Hey, what good am I? Jesus, what good am I?
The most church going person in the world.
None going, church going.
Non-going person, right?
Finish.
Yes.